Testing, mic check. 1, 2, 1, 2. Can anybody hear me? Can anybody hear? Yeah, it feels a little shaky. It's been a shaky day. Mischief all around me. Becoming a YouTube member. What's happening? Where are we at here? How do I take the... God dang it. Try and time stuff, it just never works. What's happening, everybody? Welcome to Lab After Dark, the Shaky Hours edition. Well, I'm sure most of you have heard that there was an earthquake today. Felt like it shook directly under my ass the whole time. And it kind of did. It was centered just a few miles off from where I'm from. It was good. It was a very good size earthquake. Doesn't matter where you're from, how many earthquakes you've been in, and I've been in a grip. And I'll tell you that this one, I still think, because we had one, I think it was it's like 2 years ago, close to around the same time too. And, you know, it was just nuts. But this one was probably the longest earthquake I'd ever felt. It was like, it just wouldn't stop. It was just so annoying. And it was big as well. So that's, a problem. But I tell you that, let me bring up the chat here. I appreciate you joining. Thank you so much. That's very, very sweet. And Samantha, what's happening? Thank you as well. To Josh, my niece at her pool water. Yeah, it was kind of crazy. It was crazy, but the thing is, I'm telling you, what makes it all worse, like what makes everything about it worse, is that this phone alert system that just sucks. It's terrible. It goes off the exact time the earthquake starts. So I'm not really sure what we're supposed to do. I'm not sure if we're supposed to look at our phones while the earth, just in case. Let me just make sure. We know what an earthquake feels like when it's happening. But then you get this god awful, obnoxious noise. It's a rant, and you're going, oh God, the earth is moving. But at the same time, your phone is doing something. So it's like, okay, let me check my phone instead of getting in a doorway or getting under a table or whatever you're supposed to do. Most people do nothing. They just kind of sit there. Some people are frozen. And then some people, like me, I had Otis in this arm and I had Macho in this arm. And that was awful. But it was just, so then that, that's going off. And then after that, everybody's tensions are high. Then you get this friggin' god awful noise again. Man, tsunami warning. It's just like, oh my God, not again. And so then you're like, okay, so now we got to, what do we do now? And then you're checking on everybody that you know. Where are you at? There's a tsunami warning. And you know what? This is why I hate Facebook. You can't go on Facebook for the next 30 days. You just can't. Did you feel that? Yeah, we felt it. It was a freaking 7.0 earthquake. My sister's like, hey, did you feel that? So basically what I do now is when people ask me, did you feel that? I go, feel what? You didn't feel that? Feel what? Feel what? What was I supposed to feel? You didn't feel that? Of course I felt it. Everybody felt it. Who didn't feel it? Everybody, it was an earthquake. It wasn't, the wind didn't blow a little. Like, it was a massive ass earthquake, like massive. Let me see. When I say massive, I mean, it was huge. Like, what do you mean? Yeah, we've been having aftershocks all day. I felt a couple of them. I think they said it's up to 70 now. 70 something earthquakes over 2.5, some as big as like 4 point, I don't know, whatever. It was good size. So, we'll just end up having aftershocks for the next, I don't know, 2 weeks probably. It always happens near Christmas too. But if you've never felt an earthquake of that size, it'll make you pucker up like really, really fast. It gets very, very dicey because you don't know how long it's going to go and you don't know how big the earthquake's going to get. Is the earthquake the topic of the night? I don't know. I mean, do you have something you want me to talk about? I'll tell you if I will or not. Probably not, but no, I'm not going to talk about the earthquake all night. But maybe. I can't recall what year was 1989. I would think I was 3 or 4. It's pretty small. But yeah, it was a massive earthquake, and but we're all right. I think seems like. It's just like when we get a hurricane, we want to talk about it. I get it. I don't know if I want to talk about it. It's just, I did like a 20-minute show earlier saying that we were okay. And that was it. That was about, I don't know. I mean, it was a major event that happened that everybody was covering. Yeah, I hope it needs to settle down. Just simmer down. And it, hopefully it will. But anyway, it is just a kind of a normal thing. But 7.0, I think the last one was that was over 7 was like a 7.2 or 7.3, which was like in 1992, I believe. And that was a rocker too. I was pretty young when that happened, but I remember it vividly. But here's the thing, like sometimes I don't want to say anything bad about like the people that issue the warnings for tsunamis, but like, they know the difference between a push-pull earthquake and a slip earthquake. And the slip earthquakes don't really, and that's what it was. This specific fault line, that's what it is. It was like a slip fault. And so it doesn't really generate a lot of waves. And they know what kind of fault line it struck on right away. And they issued a tsunami warning and freaked out millions and millions of people. And next time I see you, I worry about next time that people aren't going to take it very serious. That's where I get a little worried about the whole situation, is that, you know, a lot of people were really, I mean, they were having like kids at school, you know, like, I get you want to, you want them to be like safe. And I get that you want better safe than sorry, but I mean, you know, there were traffic jams. They were putting kids on like these sand dunes out here, like pulling them out of the classroom. They're like screaming, "Ah, get up on this! They gotta get up on the sand dune. There could be a tsunami." And they knew pretty fast, I think, that there wasn't going to be. But I get the need for precaution. You know, I mean, they consider tsunamis 8 inches like of water, you know. Some of them are terrifying. Now, there's this place up north in Crescent City that it has a very small opening, like the mouth of the bay is sort of, it's like a thin sort of pushed way. And that place gets hammered by tsunamis. Like if you have a boat out there or something, it's going to absolutely jack up whatever boat or anything that you have down there. It happens all the time. And, but you know, it's just, I get it. I get why they do it. I get why they have to do it. What's up, Brittany? What's up? No, we're not going to talk about the earthquake all night. Peanut the squirrel. Yeah. I think I talked about that already, didn't I? It's the same thing with hurricanes here in Louisiana. They hype them up and people don't leave. Yeah, I get it. I mean, sometimes it causes mass panic, and I get it. I get that it's scary. I get that. I mean, we have tsunami sirens, and but I mean, did you see the traffic? Nothing happened. Nothing. Not even a drop of water. Not even a little bloop, beep, doop, nothing. Not even a little. Which I'm thankful for. I'm grateful. That's a good thing, you know. You know. You should. You absolutely. I'm not telling you not to. Tears Ran Dry says, I listen to all emergency folks and do what they recommend. I agree. And we do. We absolutely do. But what I'm telling you is Northern California is not new to earthquakes. We're the most active fault line in California. They know the kinds of faults that there are, and there are different kinds of fault lines, and there are different types of earthquakes. You have your rolling, you have your slips, you have your push pulls, and there's a lot of it. There's so much data on this. And certain fault lines will cause possible tsunamis. This wasn't one of it. This wasn't one of them. So this one was, so anyway, but what I'm saying is, yes, absolutely should always do, you know, out of precaution. But I was just like, I remember because my son called me because his wife works at a school that's right on the bay right there. I mean, they were rushing these kids up the hill. And I mean, I get it. I get that you have to be safe, but sometimes, I don't know, man. I just thought it was a little much. The earthquake was bad enough. And then, but like I said, the worst part, All of it were the alerts. I don't know what you're supposed to. I think I still have the alert on my phone. I didn't even do anything with it. All right, here it is. So this is what it said on my phone. The National Weather Service has issued a tsunami warning. A series of powerful waves and strong currents may impact the coast near you. You are in danger. Get away from coastal waters. Move to high ground or inland now. Keep away from the coast until local officials say it's safe to return. And then people end up actually going to the coast. Swear to God. So that was... And then it says, emergency detected. Drop cover, hold on, protect yourself. USGS. Shake alert. I didn't sign up for this. Yeah, it you know the alert that it makes when there's like an amber alert or a silver alert or a missing person alert? It makes the same exact noise. Ran. It's just like, oh my God. So you're in the middle of an earthquake, and we were in the middle of an earthquake, and then you get a message on your phone going, earthquake detected. No shit. You don't say. Really? There's an earthquake? I just thought everything was shaking for no good reason. I saw lines of traffic going to the coast on the news. I don't know why they do that. They just do. But yeah, so then after that happens and everything kind of calms down and the chandeliers stop shaking and everybody's hanging out. Yeah, it lasted a super long time. And Opal Sis, thank you for becoming a member. Lulu, thank you for your $4.99 super chat. Good night, Josh and friends. Stay safe, please. We're doing it. We're up to 70 something aftershocks. And, well, you know, I wasn't exactly, it's hard to ignore an earthquake when it's that size. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just, it's not that, it's just, it's more difficult. It just makes everything a little bit more chaotic, I guess. Yeah. 70 something aftershocks and counting, and they'll be triggering aftershocks for days. Like I said, if anything, if things start shaking in here at any moment, I'm going right under the desk. I'll be back. If the power doesn't go out, some power went out around the county. This time we didn't lose power. Last time we lost power immediately, which was crazy. This time we didn't lose power, but kind of surrounding suburbs did. And, yeah, but they're not actually warning. That's what I'm trying to say. Like if it happened like 10 seconds before the earthquake, then that would have been a warning, but it didn't. It happens at the exact same time as the earthquake. Yes, I do. I have little baby animals. No, they don't react. They react like everybody reacts after that. My guys, no, God bless their souls. They're just beautiful little creatures. You know, I mean, all they do is really bring me joy. Other than that, you know, they're not like fighting anybody off or, you know, hurting the big bad earthquake. None of that's happening. I'm sure some dogs do, but my dogs go cross-eyed, you know, looking at flies and stuff. They're just not, I mean, they're just little love animals. They're just ones you just cuddle with, you know, you just like, hey, the little baby. They're very cute, but they're about as useless as a crap flavored lollipop when it comes to that kind of stuff. Otis runs from squirrels. Macho's a little bit. Oh yeah, for sure we are. Yeah, that'll go on for days. We're absolutely having aftershocks still. And I'm sure that we will continue for a couple of more days. but they're, like I said, they're useless, but not, they're useless in the sense of like, they're not going to like protect me or anything, but I want to show you this really quick though.
Powerful.
Let me see here. And then I went back to our favorite faceless warrior. Yeah, the aftershocks are good size. Some of them.
7.0 magnitude earthquake that rocked Northern California and triggered a tsunami warning today.
Dad, there's an earthquake happening. Look at the pool.
We're starting to get a clear.
What do you mean you couldn't tell you didn't get the alert? That's how you know an earthquake's happening.
A picture of all the damage. The quake struck off the coast of Humboldt County about 10:45 this morning. The tsunami warning followed, but it only lasted for about an hour before it was canceled. There have been dozens of aftershocks throughout the day.
Eyewitness News reporter Tim Caputo live.
See this, like, you see that little circle up there? That's where I'm at.
Live in our ABC 7 newsroom with the latest developments. Tim.
Yeah, Tim.
And Mark, 30 aftershocks since that big one around 10:45.
That was like 9 hours ago.
This morning, certainly unnerving all the way through the morning hours. Then you add the tsunami warning on top of that. This evening, more than 10,000 people are without power as they continue to survey the damage. And coming into our newsroom, more and more reports of damage all across that region as Governor Newsom declared a state of emergency. A road in the small town of Rio Del.
So Rio Del is just up the road a piece from me. Like just a few miles. It's just a neighboring town. And this is some of the damage.
Cracked from the quake. This just a sliver of the damage across NorCal from a
I like how they show weed plant, like a weed plant factory.
7.0 magnitude earthquake.
Like those buds are shaking, dude.
That hit miles off the coast this morning.
That's pretty similar, but it went way longer.
Shops and homes left shaking from the biggest earthquake in California in years.
Dad, there's an earthquake happening. Look at the pool.
A literal wave pool in someone's yard, a jarring sight, but pales in comparison to the fear felt by many of a tsunami crushing the coast. A tsunami warning quickly went into effect, and thousands of people living within a mile of the Pacific got in their cars and rushed to higher ground.
We evacuated up to the top of the mountain up there on Roberts Road, where it almost looked like half the Pacific was there.
But as seismologist Dr. Lucy Jones explains, this quake was underwater plates moving horizontally. So while it stirred the ocean water, it wasn't the kind that would generate a giant wave.
To create the big wave, you have to displace a lot of water, right? You change the shape of the seafloor, it comes up, the water that used to be there has to go somewhere else, and that's the tsunami wave, right? So if you don't change the shape of the seafloor, you don't generate the wave.
Governor Gavin Newsom was at the southern border with Mexico, where he was briefed and announced a state of emergency declaration shortly after the tsunami alert was lifted.
It's another reminder of the state that we live in and the state of mind that we need to bring to our day-to-day.
You get it? State and state of mind.
A reality here in the state of California in terms of being prepared.
Why does he sound like Robert F. Kennedy?
For
that's how he talks.
earthquakes, but early damage assessments are being made.
Even with the quake miles off the coast, it was quickly detected, and more than 400,000 people got a shake alert warning in a matter of seconds.
Once we actually pick up that earthquake, the processing time just takes like under a second to process that information and then to provide it to the people who are actually going to deliver the alerts. And our goal is to get alerts out as quickly as possible. We work with our partners to deliver alerts within 5 seconds.
5 seconds. Yeah, but the earthquake's going by then.
Interesting note on exactly where the epicenter was, out in the Pacific Ocean. Dr. Jones says this is essentially where 3 tectonic plates meet. So it's a very active area when it comes to earthquakes. So she wasn't that surprised when a 7.0 came through. Still jarring and unnerving for all the folks who felt the shakes and all those aftershocks. She also said it does not mean there will be other big earthquakes in our immediate future, and essentially has no impact on the San Andreas Fault.
Powerful 7.0.
Well, isn't that nice? I don't even think you can turn them off. Does he? Is he sick too? Yeah, everybody's sick, aren't they? The tsunami warning was in plenty of time. It just never happened, which thank God for. Honestly, like I said, I would much rather have them issue an alert and not having them not issue an alert and then a tsunami happens. But, you know, everybody's got this idea that a tsunami is like what you see in the movies, like the end of days. And it's just not. Like a tsunami can be a very small amount of displaced water that pushes up onto the beach or the whatever. And but you have to be on alert for it. And so no real warning. I mean, it was there, you know. I mean, there was he does. He sounds like the czar of health. Yeah, our buildings are pretty good. It was pretty good. Then I have 2 neighbors on each side. I'm telling you, I think I was telling Linda this morning, but you remember when like the dude from Sanford and Son, Red Fox, would like wave. I think his wife's name was Elizabeth, and he'd be like, "Elizabeth, I'm coming to see you, honey. I'm coming to see you." I got that vibe from my grandmother today when I rushed into her room and said, "Come on," because I was trying to get her into a doorway. She waved me off. Do it. I was like, wow. Unbelievable. And if you saw the show from this morning, an hour after that, like there's a tsunami warning and everything, my neighbor, Pat, crawls up on, he's up on the roof, blowing the leaves off his roof. And I'm not even kidding. I said, "Pat, what are you doing?" His exact response to me was, "F it. I don't have that much time." It's like, all right, dude, whatever. Have a good day, Pat. And then he comes over later. He's like, "Hey, can I put some stuff in your green waste?" I was like, "Yeah, do whatever you want, buddy." She didn't care at all. Not even a little. "Hey, can I use some of your green waste?" It's like, "Are you going to get off your roof?" "Yeah." "Can I put some stuff in your green waste can?" "Sure, bud. Do whatever you want." I mean, people are nuts. It's like, "Grandma, come on, get in the doorway. Come on." And I walk over, and she literally takes her hand and goes flat on her back with her. She's got her CPAP on, like. I said, "All right, you're on your own. I'm out of here." Every man for himself. I was just blown away. Absolutely blown away by that reaction, dude. I was like, "I'm out of here, dude. I gotta go. I gotta go, Grandma." Once you wave me off, it's I mean, look, if it came back down to it, she should have got tossed on my shoulder at some point, but that's not that. Luckily, it stopped. Everybody was all hyped. She didn't care one. She's been here since like the 50s, you know. She's lived in this county since like the 50s. And I don't think much shakes her up, like no pun intended. But she she was over it. Oh, she didn't give one shiz. Yeah, that's a good point too. Eric, be well, Josh and family. We're good, man. I appreciate that. And we went on, I went on this morning for about 20 minutes just to talk about it a little bit because I was getting a lot of messages, and God bless you guys. Thank you so much. I want to say this from the bottom of my heart. It means a lot to me that so many people check on me and my family's well-being. And, in the midst of it, it was just easier to go live and tell you that everything was okay, except that my neighbor was on his roof and my grandma said she didn't care anymore. And, she didn't actually say it, but she did wave me off. She was like, my sister texted me. She goes, did grandma at least get out of her chair this time? And I said, she didn't even get out of bed this time. It was like 10:45. She was like, I was just getting good sleeping. It's like, all right, dude. Macho was laying on it. I remember I was like sitting on the couch with Macho, and Otis was on the other side. And I was like looking down at Macho, laugh. I was legitimately giggling about like his little tongue was just like just kind of sticking out. He was like laying on his side looking at me. The little tongue was like this, and I kept acting like I was gonna grab his tongue, and he was swatting at my arm like grandma style. And then sure enough, we had an earthquake. Then we had the phone go off. Macho attacked the earthquake like a good boy. So you do it. You get that mean earthquake. He did, dude. He got the mean earthquake. I mean, I didn't really have I don't think I had issues. I was fine. I just wanted to make sure I was just, I didn't want shit falling everywhere. And I was on the phone with my sister. She lives near Roner Park. Yeah, I'm sure she got the alert too. Yeah, we all did. It was, Mary, is very kind of you, gifting 5 Lab After Dark memberships. I really do appreciate that. And also, yeah, my mouse literally just died, and I was going to bring something up. By the way, I just want to tell you this. I don't care. I don't mind that people trash me or, bring up stuff that from my past, from years back that is done and over with. I don't care about any of that. It doesn't bother me. They're welcome to do it. I would never spend the amount of time worrying about somebody else, but that's okay. And I appreciate your kind messages about that as well. I'm completely fine. Did you check your home for structural damage? Yes, I did. No structural damage. Nothing. Thank God. We're fortunate. Honestly, we're very fortunate that it wasn't worse. Nah, it doesn't. No. Nah, I just consider the source, and I know that it was egged on by White Boy, who has like this CIA file on me. But White Boy is also the same guy that sold the date grape drug and got arrested for it. So, if you're getting your information from that guy, well, you can get under the house and make sure that and that's what you do. You go under the house, under the crawl space, and you make sure that the foundation is still there, like that it's sitting where it's supposed to. All right. And that's how you kind of check for it. You check your pipes, and we actually had a plumber come out anyway. We had to have him come out. Yeah. Oh yeah, I don't care. I don't like it. It doesn't. It really doesn't make any difference to me. Um, it's just not that big of a deal at all. Although B Tim did say, I have a little bit of. I want to play a little bit of what B Tim said because God bless him. I love him. It's like he's turning into one of my favorite people slowly. And by favorite, I mean least favorite. We had damage from a 5 point. Yeah, you check your pipes. I mean, I think there was like a little leak under the sink that maybe one of the whatever slipped or something, and that got tightened up, and that was it. There's just there was not a lot of there were some things that kind of felt like there were some things that fell over, but nothing major. Nothing major. I'm waiting for I can't even take the breaking news off the screen because my mouse died and it's recharging as we speak. And it's taking a little bit longer than I had anticipated. And a lot of the times the reason that they bring up like the same stuff from years and years ago is because there's nothing else to bring up. Like it's just the same thing, rinse and repeat over and over. This already happened. It's just whatever. Some people will always think no matter what, that I'm a scumbag, and some people will see through it for what it really is. That's just what I think. But, I'm not really that concerned with the opinions of people that I wouldn't even associate with ever. B Tim, what does the B stand for? I think it stands for bitch. I think. I am doing the show with Seth tomorrow. I believe so. I believe that is still on. No, I don't have a pet mouse. Basement Tim, yeah. Let me see how far we got here, because I kind of want to get these. I mean, are these not your two typical newscasters? They look just like newscasters. Well, I appreciate that. It was. Let's see. I could check. It's moving now. We're at 4%. We're at 4%, baby. They just. Hello, I'm Stephen Eagle, and I'm Pam Mowgli. Today we have breaking news from Humboldt County, California. A major 7.0 earthquake rocked the small county of Humboldt. That's right, Mr. Eagle. I don't know how to say this. Mr. Eagle. I mean, they don't look panicked about the earthquake. Oh, they're not from around here. They're like Bay Area guys. Exactly. They're not even from around here. Okay, here we go. Okay, so let me play this and react to this a little bit, and then we'll go from there. Yeah, they weren't they weren't in the eye of the tiger. All right, you guys ready? Here we go.
but I would give you that advice a little bit. You're just a talentless hack.
Wrong one. God, there's too many of them on my board.
That's what I would do.
Me too. Right.
Wait, what just happened here? I appreciate that. Thank you. Are you ready?
Captain Ganja, who knows with these weirdos?
Yeah. So I got Josh mad at me, it looks like.
I'm not. I promise you, I'm not mad.
Mr. Josh.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Scared, but I'm not mad.
Was he on last night? I didn't watch.
No, it was a couple days ago. He was very mad at me. He was very, very mad at me.
No, I wasn't. What do you mean? Mad?
Showing it's for like basically tossing the receipts.
You can do whatever you want. It didn't do anything. It didn't matter. It doesn't matter to me.
You know, he got fucking decimated by like Everyday Jay. Did you see that stream?
I did not.
Yeah, that was good. I was enjoying it very much so.
I was like, holy fuck, she took him to fucking task.
No, she didn't. All she did was play some stuff that White Boy sent her.
I haven't seen an ass kicking like that in quite a while.
What about the time in 5th grade when the 3rd grader beat the shit out of you?
Yeah, and I'm glad she did.
Are you glad?
Because a lot of people watch her, a lot of people respect her, and yeah, I'm glad she did.
I'm so glad.
It's good that not one of the hater channels. I'm using quotation marks with my fingers. One of the hater channels is talking about him. It's somebody that, you know, doesn't normally get into all this stuff. And
I completely disagree. And she absolutely does and did. And she's been sued more than P. Diddy has.
I'm glad she did.
But yeah, he's done a lot of things. I saw some person in chat and they were like, well, is it right that you're using this old stuff against him? Don't people change? And I'm like, well, he doesn't give that same courtesy to Chris and Katie.
What? Chris and Katie? Where'd that come from? Obviously, I haven't been watching my show, dude.
Yeah.
Or the people that he judges, he digs into their past.
I don't dig into people's past.
Right.
You know, and then suddenly fucking uses it as content.
Yeah, I don't do that either.
Right.
You know, and then.
But I could find out who you are. I have friends. I don't want to know who you are. I'm never going to look for you. Ever.
And suddenly fucking uses it as content. Which, you know, I mean, like, it makes me wonder. It's like, you know, that's why I think like the drama community does kind of like this drama thing kind of meshes together. Because the current true crime space with these clowns is kind of like the same thing. Oh, we're going to get the police report on the parents. We're going to dig into their house. We're going to show their house on a live stream.
Yeah, there are Fs and stuff.
It's the same shit. It's absolutely the same shit. And that's why, like, people are like, oh, well, drama and true crime, why are they together? Because it's the same. It's become the same shit. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
You know, doxing, like, and attacking a mother of a missing kid is the same. You know, what you just saw currently. It's very similar. But of course, they'll say, well, we're just investigating the case. But the truth of the matter is, it's like we're just digging up dirt as much as we can about these people so we can get content.
No, that's not what's happening.
The one thing that was concerning, though, was the whole thing when, you know, typing into the chat like that, and then suddenly magically, you know, our blades show up.
Yeah, what he's referring to is that there's somebody. I'm not going to say who they are. I'm sure people know, but they had claimed there was this guy named Scientific Skeptic, just an absolute tool bag. And I was in his chat one day and I kept writing like his I think it was like it was either his friend or somebody's first name. It was like a really weird first name. And I kept typing it in there. And then they went and looked up the name. I think it was his like girlfriend at the time. And I don't know if it's still his girlfriend. And they said that like what I was typing in the chat was like Swahili for somebody to unalive themselves or some secret code that insinuated that somebody should harm themselves. And then that person claimed that I sent razor blades to their house via Amazon. And I mean, that just never, ever happened. That's just crazy talk. Absolute crazy talk.
In mail to that woman, she's claiming.
Josh, you constantly harp on people for their past mistakes. So and so killed, yada yada, and this person raped them. People change. I don't know what you mean. I think it is something weird. I don't know. They said it was like some sort of code. I don't know.
Claiming now they were never able to connect it that he sent them because it was like one of those Amazon gift things. But you know,
I've never sent anybody anything. Oh, I got you. I'm sorry. I was like, why are you? I was thinking, what happened here? I got you now. I'm sorry.
with something like, dude,
I got you. Yes. I can't believe that person killed somebody. How dare you?
you know, to have that woman unalive herself, like, you know, saying that
I know. It was some language or I don't know. It could have been Pig Latin. I have no idea.
she should. And he's smart, and he's funny. And you know, I mean, like, yeah, he's not like grotesque. He has like a good looking face.
Unbelievable.
If he actually lost weight, he'd probably be a very good looking guy.
Thank you for that. Thank you.
Like that's just a fact. I guess that's a fact. And I'm not, you know, not gonna shit on him. But the fact is like a woman looks at him, and also like I think he sent like kind of catfishing photos too.
Where do you come up with this stuff?
As well. So that might have been all to it. So like, you know, and women sometimes they or men, they fantasize and they kind of think like, oh, the grass is greener on the other side. You know what I mean? They kind of like build this person up, this online persona. Like I'm sure people here think I have like 6-pack and I'm like 6 foot something. No.
Nobody thinks that, dude. Nobody. I mean, that never even crossed my mind, Tim.
No, that is not the case.
And people are lonely.
And people are lonely, and they think, oh well, Josh is, you know, a very like a single guy.
I'm not single.
He's kind of
what were you gonna say? Semi what?
Known. I'm not gonna
semi known
to say famous, because if you have like only like
I'm not famous.
30,000 subs, you're not famous. Sorry.
I never said that I was. On a podcast one time, I joked that I was a local celebrity because a bunch of kids took the stickers of my podcast and they slapped them all over the locker room because my kids went there, and I thought it was funny.
You're not a celebrity.
I agree. I'm not.
You know, no offense. You're just like known.
Okay, whatever.
You think you're smart. It kind of makes people laugh.
Yeah. He thinks he's smart. He kind of makes people laugh.
And that's what happens. You know, and that's
And
pretty
he's
much
got kind of a soothing voice, and
Yeah.
All right. Hey, what's up? Voices. Hey, what have you guys been up to?
we're talking about how Josh is not my friend anymore. He doesn't like me.
Oh, I
But you-
know.
but you,
No, we can still be friends. I'll be your friend, dude. It's cool. I would. This is how most of my friends treat me.
you did say, sorry. You said nice things about him, BTM. That's going to piss him off even more. Remember last time you said nice things about him?
No, I'm just honest. I mean, like I do an analyst.
But I mean, you're not though, because you know, you say, oh, well, he scammed this person, he scammed that person. There's all these women that he scammed. Where are they? Where are all these women?
I mean, I'm not going to say like he's a grotesque, ugly monster. That's like he is fat. I'm not going to lie. He needs to lose the weight. And I would probably tell him like, bro, you're like going in your 40s. Your knees are going to go. Your arms are going to go. You're like 300 pounds.
I'm not 300 pounds.
At this point, you need to focus on your health.
Thank you. That's excellent advice. I'll try and lose a little bit more weight.
This is not me making fun of him. It's if you're at that weight, your knees are going to go.
My knees are fine.
And you're not going to like that shit.
My knees are fine.
Arthritis popping in, not fun. Just saying.
We know. You just said it.
I'm sure that's going to be clipped and be like, B10 fat shaming. No, just telling the truth.
What do you mean my arms are going to go? Like my arms are fine. They're pretty sturdy. Like they're on there good, actually. Like there's nothing wrong with my arms. I don't know what he's talking about. I have very strong arms.
Like you're a young
and
guy.
like Dolly, occasionally they can be funny.
Occasionally.
You know,
Oh yeah.
like when he was talking about you in Apple Tower instead of Eiffel Tower. I mean, that was hilarious. I was laughing.
Yeah, of course. It's absolutely hilarious. What about the fact that he's worried about my knees? What about that?
You know.
Yeah. But the thing is, like the guy is trying to lie and cover it up to his new subs and not admit, number one, those podcasts that he did was disgusting.
God. Is it disgusting? Like fat shaming women's arms?
Very nasty, disgusting things. And I would probably say, listen, I've changed and I've said some fucked up things because I thought it was funny. And
oh my God, dude. I don't know how many times I've said that. So weird. You know, the funny thing is, like, I've been compared to Stephen Stearns, Chris Watts, Scott Peterson. Who else? Who else did I get compared to? Those were the three that stuck out. That was nice.
it was me being fucking an idiot and being a fucking moron back then. And I said things I should not have said. That's what I would probably say.
Well, he's the kind of guy, when I listen to him, I think of a car salesman. I always have.
Car sale? What am I selling? I don't even ask anybody for money ever. I don't even have a PayPal or a Cash App scrolling across my screen. I didn't ask for any money for earthquake fund or lottery tickets or whatever it is that you guys ask money for. Lawyers. I'd never ask anybody for anything ever. You know how many shows I've done where I get nothing and I'm fine with it. Completely fine with it. I don't ask anybody for anything ever. I don't even bring it up. If somebody decides that they want to do that, thank you. But it's not something that it never, ever happens.
And
I'll do my best.
He would be a good car salesman, I think. Yeah. So he's good at manipulating.
The shit was fucking hilarious.
Oh shit.
Some of the shit he was saying, like his facial expressions, were hilarious.
Yeah, he would do good as a reaction channel, to be honest with you. Like
Right.
crazy reactions. I would say so too.
Oh
He's
yeah, I'm
got-
not doubting that he can be funny. He can be very funny, you know, but
Well, I don't think you
yeah,
get 30K subs and a bunch of people watching you if you're not funny or
yeah,
entertaining. Like
right.
that's just a fact. Like you might not like him morally. I don't like his morals. I don't like what he's done in the past. But like in the end of the day, I cannot deny that he has gotten 30K subs or whatnot and has built his channel.
And by the way, it's actually that's my second channel that I made. I had 20,000 on the first one, and
And gotten people to watch him. That's just a fact. It's just how it is.
Holy Casey, how do you really feel?
Well, I feel like he got a lot of those off Chris McDonough.
well, maybe I did get some off of the lab channel on this one, but the one before that, where I had 20,000 subs, I didn't have. I didn't even know who Chris McDonough was. So, I mean, I get it that it's fine. I know. You got off from Chris McDonough. But anyway, yeah, and then they make it seem like I'm sitting here raising funds for something, and that all I do is it's just asinine, to be honest with you. And I'm not asking anybody for anything. I don't even ask my mods to drop PayPal or Cash App links or anything like that. I never like, cause I don't like it. Other people do it, and that's I don't have a problem with it. They can do whatever they want. I just don't do it. And I don't do fundraisers. I don't do anything like that. And so, for people to say shit like that, it's just not true. Um, but that's all right. I'm not overly offended by the things that other people say. Act they act like they know you personally, and they don't. They have no idea who you are or what you stand for or anything like that, which is completely fine. Um, they say things that are just are lies and misrepresenting everything about any situation it gets twisted and let me see. Oh, thank you, Samantha. That's very kind of you. Towards your knee brace front. Don't worry. Feed Tim. We got him taken care of. Tim, I'm gonna get some knee braces so we can go hiking and walk on the beach. And then I can push you down, put your face in the sand, and then run off with my brand new knees. Just as you know, you're so far from the opinions of these morons. Poof, who cares? Ignore the noise. Jealousy is an ugly character. Yeah, look who I associate with. Look who they associate with. That's all I'm saying. I got professional people that want to work with me on things, and that pisses people off. But oh well. And no, the witness box is not dead. I just talked to McDonough about it the other day, and we are starting back up next week. It's just he's been very busy, and he was a bit under the weather as well. And I got sick right after, like I got sick on my birthday, like towards the other end of it, which was terrible as well. Yeah. Too bad, so sad. My poor knees. Every time I think of Beat Tim, I think of the little boy that like goes up to kick the ball and everybody moves in because they know that he's a puss. We're actually going to have Vinny on the podcast. It's a false door. It goes nowhere. It's not even a real door. It's like abracadabra. And I'm not fixing that sheet behind me either. It's going to stay that way forever. Yeah, it's really, you know what? It's really common, but I don't know. I feel like, I mean, you do get some ad revenue. It might not be a ton or anything, but you know, and then you have members that join and pay monthly. I don't know. Yeah. Has Gray been on there a bunch? Is Gray still going on that show? That's crazy. But you know, I don't care. That's something that's always been done. And I'm not going to say that I haven't ever received cash apps before, but it's definitely not something that is promoted, and it doesn't happen that often either, which is completely good. Yeah, I like Vinny. Vinny's cool. Oh well, I didn't plug in the Christmas lights. All I got to do is plug them in. Once they're plugged in, we're good to go. But I don't have them plugged in. They're up there from last year. I don't know if anybody remembers. I had them all. I screwed them up. Yes, I believe that we're still on for tomorrow. More fodder for the fire. Should be a blast. Everything will be nitpicked. Yes, it's on Seth's channel. Yeah. Yeah. Everything will be nitpicked and criticized and, you know, whatever. It'll same as it'll be no different, but yes, we're doing it. I'm happy to do it. And, I mean, it's always interesting. I'll tell you that. I don't know. I don't know if it's scheduled. Let me check here. Let me see. So it's not scheduled yet. So I will have to check. No, I don't. I do not know who that is. Me too. Me too. I'm glad to. I'm glad. I still don't have a tree up yet. Is it at 7? So that would be what, 4 my time? Yeah. So I'll post about it as well. I wanted to gift on Cash App for Mary and her stove, but couldn't figure it out. She made a relevant point. They do. Yeah, that's kind of part of the deal, I guess. I think it'll be 7 East, 7 or 6 or 7. I will update you guys on the time, I promise. So, you know, either follow the Facebook page or the lab main channel, and I'll post on both. And that way everybody knows what time, and I'll try and do it early tomorrow. So Central time. So it'd be 6 Central, 7 Eastern, and then 4 Pacific. So that's really it, man. I mean, I'm trying to come on and say hi, and that, everybody's doing good. And I'm so over Christmas. Yeah, we got a ways to go. We still got a ways to go. Let's see here. Yeah, I do. I do think I talked to her about that. Yeah, I think she did get her new stove. I think she did. I have 6 Central Time. Only 19 days left. Yeah, I know. God. I agree with that. It is what it is. It's only fun when you have little kids. It sucks after that. I don't have little kids, man. I wish I did. My kids are old now. Just old and ugh. You know what I mean? They're just ugh, old. Peyton told me the other day, he's like, dude, what are you, like 50? It's like, I'm 39. But I used to love getting up early with them. I don't know. Have I ever told you guys the story of I think it was 2017, 2016? Are you, Crystal, are you what the cat drug in, or are you talking about me? I've told the story before, but it was like the worst Christmas of all time. I don't want any more kids. I'm good. I just like it would be cool for like Christmas and stuff, but I have nieces and nephews that are little, so they'll they'll suffice for me to give them presents, I guess. I think I have told you guys. Maybe it's been a while, but I guess I'll just tell it to you right now. So many, many moons ago, let's see, Peyton was 12, about to turn 13. Okay, he's like, be 21 here shortly. And it was Christmas Eve, and I was out with, so I had the kids Christmas Eve. Then they went with their mother that night, and they were going to spend Christmas morning with them and then come back with me that same day or later that day. And so, we did the Christmas Eve thing, and then I went out with my friends. We were hanging out, and everybody came back to the house. We were hanging out, and probably went to bed at it was really late, probably like 3 or 4 in the morning, because I didn't have to get up with the kids to open presents because we had already done presents. And what ended up happening was, I fell asleep, which is pretty normal, right? And I get a phone call. The house phone starts ringing at like 7 or 6:30. I've been asleep like 2 hours. It was like 6:30. And so I get up and I run over to the phone, and I see that it's from the house that my kids are staying at. It's like their grandmother's house that they were staying with their mom and stepdad. And the phone rang, and I picked it up, and on the other end was Peyton's aunt. And she was crying. Maybe I don't want to tell the story. she was crying, and she told me that Peyton had a seizure, which had never happened before. It was just that was the first I'd ever even heard. I had no idea. Christmas morning. And so I was like, I said, Cleo, can you put grandma on the phone? And she does. She goes over, and I said, is he okay? Is Peyton okay? I kept saying, is he okay? Is he okay? And I'll never forget. She's passed away now, but I'll never forget what she said to me. She says, he's not doing good. And I remember when she said that, I was just like, what? She says he's not doing good. The ambulance is on the way. And I said, I'll meet you guys at the hospital. And he wasn't talking. He wasn't really responding to anybody. He was just out of it. And we went to the emergency room, and he was just absolutely knocked out. And I remember I parked and I ran over to where the emergency exit, or excuse me, the emergency room entrance, where the ambulance brings sorry, I'm stuttering over this. I'm fine. Everything turned out fine. But this is Christmas morning, and the ambulance pulls in, and he's in the back, and I'm trying to like get to him, and they're like, you got to get back. And I was like, that's my son. Like, I need to talk. I need to see him. I need to talk to him. Is he awake? And, so then I went around to the front, and I said, I need to get in there. I need to know what's going on. And they had rushed him in to have a CAT scan, and they said, we got tests to run on him and all this stuff. And I was just like, oh my God. I remember just like, and then I just kind of put my back up against the wall, and I just slid down onto my butt and had my hands over my face. And I remember just crying and saying, like out loud, I was just saying, God, please don't take my baby. Please don't take my baby. Please don't take him. Please. I remember going, haven't we paid enough markers? Like, God, please don't take him. Please don't take him. And they were saying, look, this could be a lot of different things. They were saying, could it be a tumor? It could be, diabetes. It could be this. It could be that. Just on and on and on and on. And I remember he gets, sitting there, and he's starting to kind of come to, talking to him. And he's like, where am I? And I was like, we're in the hospital. He said, what happened? He goes, I don't know. And they come back, they bring the test results back, and they tell me that they couldn't find anything wrong with him. His CAT scan, MRI, everything came back normal. And I remember going, well, that's just crazy. And they said, sometimes, people have seizures and we don't know why. And that was the start of a very long process and journey. And what I mean by that is he ended up being diagnosed with myoclonic, juvenile myoclonic epilepsy. He was diagnosed with that. And what it is that your hands suffer. Well, your hands and limbs, mostly, you have these, what they call jerks, and your hands will twitch. And sometimes the twitch or the shock or whatever it is that you want to call it, travels up to your brain, and you'll have a full tonic-clonic seizure or grand mal, which is, the tensing up and then the shaking, and and it's just it's a terrible, terrible thing to witness your child doing. And but I tell you that this was something that we could deal with, and I was just so glad that it was something that we could work on. And but it was a long journey and a long battle. He struggled mightily with these things. He probably had a good 6 to 7 major seizures. I remember one where he bit his tongue in 3 different spots. We finally got him on medicine, which did help. But the problem is sometimes kids grow out of the medicine. And when that happens, sometimes you don't know it until it's too late. And so they'll have a seizure, but he really struggled with what they called the myoclonic jerks. His shoulders would twitch, and it was always in the morning. It only in the morning. It was the craziest thing. It only happened in the morning. Let's see. My little sister has epilepsy. She was diagnosed when she was 13. Peyton was about 13 when he was diagnosed. I have myoclonic seizures, take meds. Yeah, he would take meds. And he was about 12. But then come to find out, I started asking him, I said, had you felt any sort of twitching or anything like that at all? Did you feel any? And he said for months and months, he said that he had felt his hands would twitch in the morning, but he never thought anything about he never paid it much attention and thought anything of it. And then one day, that Christmas morning, he had a major seizure. And it was awful. And his second seizure was the worst one, because he wasn't on medicine, because we didn't know what was going on. So we hadn't put him on medicine yet, but we had made an appointment with the neurologist. And what ended up happening was we were being treated. Let's see. We were being treated. We ended up going to UCSF in San Francisco, to a pediatric neurologist. And I'm telling you, and I say this and I mean it forever, that these people were amazing. They were some of the most amazing doctors and nurses ever. And I'm forever grateful for what they did and how they took care of my son and me and the family, because they helped get it under control. And it was just he still sees a neurologist to this day, but he does still take medicine, but he doesn't have any symptoms anymore. And I thank God for that. No symptoms. He hasn't had symptoms in years. They said that, He will grow out of it. And he is. He did seem to grow out of it, but he doesn't have any issues anymore. And I'm so thankful for that. And, that day I thought that my son was dying. I swear to God, that's exactly what I thought. I didn't, what else do you think? Like, why is he doing this? And I remember Ronell getting on the phone and he said, Dad, why did this happen? I said, I don't know. I don't know, son. And we went through a lot together because of it. It was a battle that raged on forever. It felt like, there were just days where, he would just fall to the floor, and it was terrifying, and it was like gut wrenching to watch. I never got used to it, ever. I never, ever got used to it. I tried to be strong, but it didn't work. First thing I thought was a brain tumor. I thought he was dead. I thought he was dying. And I say that was the worst Christmas morning ever, but I received the best news that day when they said, sometimes kids get epilepsy. Sometimes kids get epilepsy, and he'll be okay. And he was okay. And he is okay. But there was a lot of stuff along the way. And that's why, like, I've just been through a bunch. I've been through a bunch with my children. I was there for him the whole time. I was so happy. I used to tell him too, because he used to get really upset and down about it. He would get very frustrated, and sometimes he'd get frustrated with me because I would tell him, look, man, I would just say, hey, you need to rest, you need to relax, you need to this, you need to go to bed at a certain time. I was on his ass constantly. When it first happened, I remember dragging his mattress right next to me. I said, you're sleeping next to me. And he was just like, God, like, this sucks. And, I was like, too bad. But, he would get very frustrated. And sometimes I felt like I probably overdid it. Maybe I was too protective, but I didn't know what to do. I tried to let him live. Yes, he could still play sports, and he did play sports. Matter of fact, he was playing on a basketball team when it happened, and he missed most of the season, but he ended up returning. I remember the game, he returned for the last game of the year. And I remember everybody stood up, and because it was very public what was going on, because, Peyton was I would say he was one of the best athletes at his school. The basketball team was a big deal then, and they lost him for quite some time. And they were very upset just for his condition. They were his teammates were very upset and scared and all that. And I remember that when he returned, everybody stood up, gave him a standing ovation. And I was so proud of him, because I know he was scared to return, but they had medically cleared him, and he had been on medicine. But it turned out, like I said, my son was okay. They told me we can't find anything wrong with him. They ended up, like I said, diagnosing him with juvenile myoclonic epilepsy. And not that was no small cookie, but it wasn't a death sentence. And it wasn't something that we couldn't, as a family, figure out and maneuver. And we did. We figured it out. And, I remember I used to get so tired of answering the questions, because people were just genuinely concerned, and I understood, but it was like the same conversation over and over. And the neighbors, like every time the ambulance would come, the neighbors were like, oh, Peyton must have, it was just a lot. was a lot, but uh, they gave us great news. You know, it was a Christmas miracle. I don't know. It was just life. And just a random day, you know, Christmas morning. Couldn't have happened on a worse day. But I'm telling you that that was probably the best Christmas present that I ever received, was knowing that my son was okay. Because just hours before that, I was crying, going, please don't take my son. Please don't take my son. Yeah, he ended up, I think he got like an iPhone. I gave it to him in the hospital. Like he hadn't had like I said, this was like 2016. I bought him an iPhone for Christmas, I think, that Christmas. But it was an absolute Christmas miracle. I'm telling you, you know, best Christmas present I could have ever asked for. And because of that, not just because of that, but you know, Peyton and I have always been close. Our relationship and our bond, we still sometimes talk about it. Um, you know, he go, man, you know, he goes, we went through a lot. And I said, yeah. And I remember he used to, you know, he would get really upset about stuff, and he would always say, why me? Why me? Why me? And secretly in my mind, I was always thinking, you know, why us? Why us? Why are we going through this? And I used to tell him, I said, look, man, you have epilepsy, which is the same thing to me. I have it too. If you have it, I have it. Every time you end up in the hospital, I end up at the hospital. Every time you're having a bad day, I have a bad day. We have this together. And I said, you are not alone in this. And that was a fact. I mean, I used to check on him every single morning. I'd go off to work and I'd make sure that you're awake, any issues, any problems. And it was just an everyday thing. And I used to just tell him constantly that if you have this, I have this. And that's just how it is forever. And Josh, so sorry, understand. Love for your trial. I prayed when my daughter was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes at 14 years old with 1100 blood sugar count to give it to me. I used to do the same thing. I used to ask God to take it from him and let me, but there's just nothing worse than watching your child go through something like that. It was just terrible. It was awful. And, you know, I know there's a lot of people in here. Sorry, I kind of ignored the chat a little bit. I've thought of writing a book about my daughter's journey through brain tumor surgery. So that's what I'm saying. There's just so many people. You know, it's just crazy. It's really how I felt, you know. I didn't know how else to, but it truly felt like I had it the same way that he did. I mean, I didn't go through. I would always tell him, I said, look, you ass out and don't even remember anything. And I'm sitting here, I'm watching you. I'm watching this whole thing, you know. And that was always tough to witness, but like I said, it made our relationship even more special. And then Ronell as well, you know, because he looked out for Peyton a lot too when I wasn't at home, and I would have him check on Peyton. As a matter of fact, he found Peyton twice having a seizure. Yeah, country. It's just terrible, you know. It's a terrible thing. See, my sons are 29, 17. I probably still cry if they got shot. My youngest had a car accident the Friday before Thanksgiving. Wow. Wish so bad. Yep. You want to take it from them. You want to take it from them. I did. It was I never thought in a million years that I would go through something like that. And like I said, it was a really long journey, like from 12 and a half to almost 18 were really rough years when it came to the epilepsy. And I remember when like he would have the jerks, and sometimes they would just show up out of nowhere. And within an hour or so of being awake, he would drop stuff. And every time he would drop something, I wouldn't even have to look. I just knew what happened. And then it would happen over and over. Just like, and I would say, come on, lay down. And he would get so mad at me. This was it was like a weekly thing. It was just, but he has grown out of that. No more symptoms. And I'm thankful. And I wish I could wear this big uncomfortable brace for him 6 to 12 weeks. Oh no. I'm sorry to hear that. Sorry to hear that. And Mary, thank you for gifting another. That's very kind of you. And there's Linda. Let's see here. We always want to take away the pain from our children and give it to ourselves instead, no matter what, physical or emotional or whatever else. So glad he is okay. Me too. Thank you. Appreciate that. It means it was, like I said, it was an actual Christmas miracle. Jovi, 19 months. It's a long time. I appreciate you guys being here. And we're doing good. Earthquake. We'll just aftershocks and then we'll be fine with everything. Thank you guys for the memberships, the super chats and stickers. Please hit that like button if you would. And I'll see you on the next one, right? Cool. It's good enough for me. It's good enough for you. Have a great early morning or late evening. Yeah, we've had some aftershocks. Nothing too bad. See you guys tomorrow.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Chunk, chunk.
Right. Right. Right.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?